Hi, everybody. This is Coach Mary Medley. I coach women from the ages of 25 to 45 on mindset, building self confidence, imposter syndrome, fighting it, and how to thrive despite it. And today I am so excited to have a fellow coach who will be talking to us about self love. Her name is Brena Coleman. So let me introduce her appropriately. Brena Coleman is a certified personal life coach with a bachelor's in psychology, a youth mental first aid certification, and a master's in social work. She has been dedicated to obtaining her mission to encourage individuals to become effective leaders, develop confidence, create positive life choices, as well as use their voices and talents to help achieve their maximum life potential. She is an inspiration and our special guest here on her transformation table. As I said before, our topic today is finding self love. So, welcome, Coach Brenna. Tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Hi, I'm Coach Coleman. I am a social worker at heart. I've been in the field for over 5 years now, and I do specialize in many areas. I wear many hats. Just to give you a little background, I was a high school teacher for 3 years. I've worked in a psych unit, I've worked in hospital settings. With that being said, we can talk about anything from self love, self care, to having suicidal ideations, those who battle with those thoughts, anything that's dealing with mental health. I am your expert. I am your go-to. And also when it goes towards how to balance out working in life. How do you balance that out? So I am what you consider yourself a life coach.
That's amazing. So, Coach Coleman, tell us, how do you define self love?
Self-love is similar to self care, very similar to self care, because when you care for yourself, you're loving on yourself. Self love is when you can do something to make yourself feel good, nothing to make husband, boyfriend, mom, dad, children, anyone else feel good. Self love is something that makes you feel good. You're loving on yourself, you're paying attention to yourself.
Why do people stop loving themselves?
Some people tend to stop loving themselves when they give themselves too much to another individual. Where let's talk about or use an example. Anyone ever been in a relationship with their significant other and they just love them 200%? You're you're doing everything for this person to make them happy. You want to pour into them. You're giving them all your energy, 200%, to the point where you kind of lose yourself. You stop doing
Mm.
things for self. You're so focused on the other person or the other thing that you forget to do things for yourself. Some basic things. Did I did I eat a full course meal today, or did I just eat here and there? I used to exercise all the time, but now I'm running errands for this other person, or I'm so involved in this job. You're doing everything else for something else or someone else that you forget about self. And that's when the self love begins to decrease. And it's not that you do it on purpose, it just gradually goes that way.
You've said that people stop taking care of themselves basically and start doing for others all the time. So, aside from what you've mentioned, how does lacking self love affect a person's daily life?
It can affect a person's daily life in multiple ways. Say you're giving your all to this person or to this thing, maybe work, and you don't feel appreciated. You don't feel like you're doing enough, even though you are going over and beyond, because that recognition isn't there, or the appreciation isn't felt, or what you expected them or how you expected them to react wasn't the way they reacted. You then may begin to down yourself. Oh, I wasn't good enough. Oh, I need to do this more, do that more. and you may fall into a depression. I'm not good enough. I'm not doing enough. You can easily go into another direction that was not meant to be. Should I clarify that, or did that?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Expound on that.
Um, I just want to give an example based off relationships, because most of us go through relationships in general, whether they're friendships, family, or significant other, where we try to be the best person we can for them. We want to make them happy. We're doing things for other people instead of doing something for ourselves. Um, for instance, if you're when you were a child, everyone was a child before, and you wanted mom and dad to glorify you, to say, "Oh, you I see you did good in school, you got good grades," or either, "Hey, I saw you whatever sport you're playing, you did good on the field, you did good on the court." You kind of want that appreciation, that recognition, and when it's not given, you sometimes start to feel bad, right? Like, did I do
Yeah.
enough? Did they notice me? Maybe I need to do more. You start to mentally talk down on yourself. You're
You
mentally,
self blame.
yes, you're speaking against yourself in a way, and it's just bringing a lot of negativity into your mind, into your brain, into your way of thinking. So now you're thinking negative, not about yourself, about what's going on in the surroundings and the other person as well, instead of thinking positive, feeding positive thoughts to yourself. You're feeding negative thoughts to yourself. And that's why I say over time, it can then cause someone to be depressed, to fall into a depressed state. Just think about all those negative thoughts. Now you're talking down to yourself. You start to depressed, feel sad, feel bad about yourself, instead of loving on yourself, of saying, or maybe that person was busy, they couldn't make it to my game, or maybe they are proud of me and they don't know how to express it, or just saying, I know I'm doing good. I know I did my best. I know I put forth all my effort. Others have congratulated me. It's just that one particular person or that one particular job did not. Maybe I need to go to the next level. Um, what self care? How are you loving on yourself in that moment, instead of talking negative or having those negative thoughts? You got to continue to try to have those positive thoughts and talk positive things to yourself, so you can love on yourself.
So I think based on what you're saying, it starts a cycle. It's a combination of things that can start a cycle that can lead to depression, but it also speaks to the resource one has, because not everybody will receive that kind of treatment or rejection and think, oh, maybe they were doing something else. Maybe they are not there for me because of other reasons. Most people think I'm unwanted, um, I'm unappreciated, I'm not loved. And so it starts a different cycle. Would you say that people then need to create resources within themselves when it comes to self love that they can fall back on when they are not receiving it from someone else?
Correct. I always ask individuals, what are you doing for yourself? That's when self love kind of turns into self care. What are you doing to care for yourself? Simple things. Are you taking showers every day, regularly? Just hygiene, taking care of yourself, taking care of your hygiene. Are you taking time out to educate yourself on different things? Because that's how you level up in life, by gaining and gradually getting education. Are you writing? Do you love to write? Do you love to exercise? What helps you relax? What are you doing to make yourself happy? Do you enjoy watching movies? Do you enjoy cooking? What is it that you enjoy doing? What brings happiness to you? That way, it's something positive. When you're doing something that you love, it's something positive. You feel good, right? So it's
Mhm.
easier to have those positive thoughts. It's easier to have that positive energy even when you're feeling down or sad. Maybe you have a certain person that you enjoy talking to, because some people use talking to others as a coping method, as a coping skill. So everyone has to identify what helps them cope, what helps them with self care. In that way, it will be considered self love because you're doing something that you love, that makes you feel good. No one else is making you feel good. You're not making them feel good, but you're doing something that you can do without anyone that makes you feel good.
So I guess the next question would be, how does one start the journey? Would you say a self-assessment to see where what you're lacking in terms of resources and then build upon that?
Yes, that's my technique. I always start with where are we right now? What's missing? How do we identify that? That's always a question. How do we identify what's missing? How do we identify what's not correlating? Well, how do you do that is think back when you were a child. What made you happy? If you have to go that far back to think what made me happy, start there to find yourself again. And once you start finding yourself and identifying what makes you happy, you then can work on that. Continue to do that daily or weekly, whenever you have the time. Just gradually get to doing that daily. If you have to start off once a month, that's okay. Then you can go, all right, let's do it once a week. Let's do it twice a week, 3 times a week until you start doing it daily and it becomes a routine. Anything that's done longer than 90 days, which is 3 months, becomes a natural habit, right? So if you start
Yeah.
talking positive to yourself for 90 days straight, like once a day, just look in the mirror, hey, I'm beautiful today. Hey, today's going to be a good day. Some people may refer to it as affirmations. Some people may refer to it as prayer. Whatever you want to call it, use it. Use it and talk positive things into yourself. You can start once a day in the morning or in the afternoon, whatever, fix your schedule, and do it for 90 days consistently. Every day, 90 days straight, and then it becomes into a habit because after those 90 days, you're not thinking about doing it, you're just doing it now. It's just something that's naturally happening, and before you know it, you're loving on yourself.
So it's building the skill of self-love, and it starts with practicing it for 90 days.
Yes.
So how can people help or support those who they can tell are lacking in self-love? What can I do to support my friend, my sister, my partner if I see this person is lacking in self-love?
There's different personalities. Some people you can talk to, have the conversation like we're having. Some people are more physical. So if you know your friend well enough and you know they used to be into sports, they're athletic, hey, you want to go walking? You want to go for a walk? You try to do those things, those activities that may bring life back into them, bring happiness back into them. And then later on, have that conversation instead of having the conversation first because maybe they're not ready for the conversation. A lot of people are in denial at first. So you can't be aggressive when trying to have that conversation. So it's best to be sensitive
Yeah.
and allow them to take in what you want to have a discussion about.
So much more include them in activities as part of an entrance into a conversation.
Correct. Invite them out to eat dinner. Invite them out to the movies. They may say no a lot in the beginning, but eventually, as a friend, they'll come around. And if not, you'll understand when to have that conversation. And when you have that conversation, you can also explain this is why I've been trying to invite you out more, become more involved in your life because I've noticed these things have been happening. You used to be this way, and now you're behaving this way currently. And I believe we should do some things together, some activities, and help you find yourself again. And that's that's
What
that's like a role model of how that conversation may go,
mhm.
depending on how the relationship is between the two.
What is the correlation between self love and self confidence? Or is there a correlation?
I believe there is a correlation because when you're loving on yourself, you're building that confidence. Remember earlier when I said affirmations or prayer, you're looking in the mirror saying, I look good, I am beautiful, today is going to be a good day. Well, if you're confident in yourself, you like, I look good, I smell good, I know I look good. And another confidence is today is going to be a good day. You kind of walk a bit different, like with your head held high rather than looking down low, um, with an embarrassment or shame or being unsure of something. With you using those positive affirmations or speaking positive, have those positive thoughts, building that self love, self confidence, you have more reassurance of who you
Mhm.
are and that today is going to be a good day, no matter, even if it's a bad day. Just because you kept telling yourself it was going to be a good day, you will see the positive overcome the negative.
Yeah. So, if in case you're watching this as a replay on YouTube or even on Facebook, please make sure you check out links and in the comments. We're going to put up all the links on how you can be able to reach Coach Brenna, and you can even ask her questions later. So please like, subscribe, follow my page, her page, so that you can get some of the free resources that we share. And if you're watching live right now, please leave a comment, ask a question, as we're here for you on all matters self love.
Yeah.
So, Coach Brenna, what is your personal experience in the hunt for self love?
My personal experience with self love is I love to run. I'm not a good runner, but I love to be in the nature. I love how it feels to control my breathing while running. Um, that's something that I love, and I like to go by myself. I don't like anyone with me because that's my one on one time with myself. As I'm running, I'm thinking, I'm reflecting about where I've been, where I'm at, where I'm going, who am I. That's my one on one self love. Another self love is for me is music. I love music. I love jazz. I love hip hop. I love rap. I love Christian. I love country. I love music. That's my go-to for self-love because I kind of tune everything out and I listen to music as I clean because cleaning is a therapy for me. It's therapeutic. So I find different things that makes me feel good, whether another individual is with me or not, and that's how I love on myself. I like to change up my hair because I love looking good. I love to spray myself with perfume, different fragrance because I like to smell good when I look good. And that's just me loving on me. I'm not doing it for anyone else because what I'm wearing or the way my hair is may be ugly to someone else, but to me,
Yeah.
I like it. I look good. I think I look good. I talk to myself, not in a weird way, but I just talk to myself to build my confidence myself, even if someone else doesn't like it. It's okay. I like it and I love it. It's me.
Would you say, did you have any personal experiences that led you to this journey that has
Of
made you more
course.
self aware?
Yes.
Share with us, tell
Um,
us.
so I had that experience. Like I said, a lot of people don't agree with your hairstyle. A lot of people don't agree with your dress code. Um, Everyone have different views, point of views. And as a child, I had a weird dress code. So it didn't always correlate with what everyone else thought would be the best way to dress. But I don't care. That's I always looked at as my dress code. So that way it built my confidence as I got older to not try to fit in necessarily
Mhm.
with what everyone else thinks you should wear or you should be. I just went through that experience during middle school as a child. So I learned at an early age about self love, self care, because it's vital. For me at that age, it was vital.
Okay. So you have a master's in, sorry, a bachelor's in psychology, your youth mental first aid certified professional, and a master's in social work. Obviously, this must have put you in some position of leadership or other. What would you say is, does self love help in leadership in any way? Does it help anyone to become a better leader? And if so, how?
I believe so, because like you said, it correlates with confidence. So when you have that self love, and it goes with it. I want to answer your question. Self love, self care, and confidence all come together and correlate to answer your question when getting through those milestones. Because when you're under a lot of stress, trying to get through school, whether you're in school, you're going through a lot of stress trying to pass your license, to get your license test. If you're a professional at that level, you're going through through stress in your personal life, trying to balance out either work, school, and personal life, and just finances, trying to pay for school or either pay for bills, personal bills. It's all stressful. So to get through all of those challenges, those milestones, you have to you have to incorporate. I'm going to stress that you have to incorporate confidence,
Mm.
self-love, and self-care, because that's going to help you get through those rough moments when someone is talking down on you, or say you want to be an entrepreneur and someone is like, I don't think that's going to work. You're wasting your time, you're wasting your money. And that's because they don't see the vision the way you do. But guess what's going to keep you going, keep you motivated, keep that alive? Your self-love, because you're loving on yourself. Because
Yeah,
guess who's making you feel good again? Yourself.
yourself.
That's self-care,
Yeah.
because you're incorporating positive thoughts. You're doing things that you love for yourself. So when someone tells you, "Oh, that's a bad idea. You're not gonna be good at that or be great," you can then speak up. No, I am going to be good. I am going to be great. Why can you speak up and say that? Because you tell yourself that every morning. You incorporated that in your daily life. So when someone else speaks down on it, or they speak negative to you, you're able to respond in a positive way instead of responding in a negative way. And once that conversation ends and you're able to walk away knowing that you educated them about yourself in a positive way, guess what? You feel good once again. So that's why I say it's all incorporated: self love, self care, and self confidence.
What's your advice? Because we currently live in an era of Instagram, of TikTok, of cloud chasing, of comparing ourselves to other people and
Mhm.
their living standards, and not knowing whether it's true or not. How would you, or what advice would you give, especially to people who really look outside for validation? How would you advise them to change that habit, or to have a different way? What would they do?
Well, we all know the saying, be yourself, right? But when you are surrounded by all these different things, social media, this is the trend, this is in, this is cool, this is not, it's kind of hard to find, who am I? How do I
Yeah.
be myself if I don't know who I am, right? So
Mhm.
I would try to identify, who am I? Who are you? And that goes back to what makes you feel good. What are your talents? What are you good at? That's how you identify, who are you. What's your purpose? What's your why? Why am I doing this? Right? Am I doing it for self?
Yeah.
Am I doing it for mom? Am I doing it for money? Am I doing it for my children? Why am I doing this? What is my purpose? How can, like, identify being me, being myself? And that way you will not be distracted so much by social media. It may have a small impact, no lie. It may have a small impact,
Yeah.
but it shouldn't be able to shift everything about you. It shouldn't be able to dictate who you are. It may influence you a little bit, your dress code to change a little, what's trending, what looks good. But if you love the color yellow and they say, oh, yellow is not in for the season, okay, I love it, I'm wearing it, that's me, that's what I want to do. So I would say stick to who you are, be who you are consistently. And I want to say that word consistently. Being consistent is the key nowadays. Don't switch
Mhm.
up just because someone says something different. If you believe in something and you want to do something with yourself or in your life, whichever route you're taking, stick to it. Be consistent. And with you being consistent, you won't shift or go with the flow based on social media, based on your surroundings, because you already know who you are, you're consistent with who you are and what you're doing.
Be consistent. You are a woman of color. Um, do you see in your social work, especially, do you find yourself seeing that self-love is an issue that is racial, or is it doesn't matter, it cuts across? Does it cut across males, females, or it just doesn't matter? Do you see that it's an issue regardless of background?
It's an issue regardless of background. I've seen African Americans, Caucasians, Asians, Indians, Hispanics. It does not matter. When you feel depressed, you feel depressed. When you feel lonely, you feel lonely. When you have those negative thoughts, you have negative thoughts. And that's across the board with anyone. From what I've seen, it doesn't matter age. It doesn't Some people say, oh, they're too young, they don't know. I've seen elementary kids, age of 10, battling with self confidence, self love, um, and it goes all the way up to the age of 91. Same thing. It doesn't matter how old or what race or what gender. You can be male or female.
I think that would be so sad to be 91 not love yourself. I think that would just be so sad. But you mentioned children. For adults, it would be easy for us to say, um, do some affirmations, practice a habit for the next 90 days. How do I do that for my 10-year-old, my 5-year-old, my 15-year-old? How do I get them into that habit where it's not just another adult giving them some other job to do that they don't want to do? Do you have any tips?
Yeah, with children, it's really just conversations, installing those those habits of positive thoughts, of being a good person, morals, should I say? Because if the child, let's say the child comes from a good home, everyone loves on them, the family loves on them, but when they go to school, they're being bullied, they're being talked about. Parents making afford the newest shoes, the best clothes, so everyone's picking on them. So guess what? Their confidence is going down. It's just going down. And it's up to, then it will be up to the parents or the family or whatever adults is in their life to speak into their life in a positive way. And unfortunately, sometimes parents aren't as involved in a child's life, so that child then grows up with a lack of self love, a lack of self care, and a lack of confidence. And usually that's where the teenager who suffers from depression or suffers from having confidence or suffers from self love, it's been installed in them at an early age, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So if a parent is able to have that conversation with their child, like, you are beautiful, you do look good, you are handsome, you are smart. um, Continue to have those conversations, just say those little things to them, because you never know what is going on in school, because they may not come home and say, mom or dad or uncle, whoever, I'm being bullied, or this child said this to me today. You never know. So I will encourage parents, uncles, whomever, any adult, to tell a child, not in a offensive way. Make sure
Mm.
it's your child and you are comfortable. That child's comfortable with you before you tell them you are beautiful, you are smart, you are handsome. You just want to feed positive words to them.
Okay. In case you're watching and you have a question, please feel free to ask Coach Coleman. So tell us, Brena, where can we find you? Where can we find your programs? Where can we find your work? How can we get into your orbit?
Yes, and you can on my website. It has all my information, my phone number, my email. It has all the social media platforms. And the name of that website is betteryouSolutions.org, and that's BetterYouSolutions.org. And once again, you have access to me on that website: email, phone number, Facebook, Instagram, you name it.
Thank you so much. If we forget everything that you have told us or said to us and all the value that you've given to us today, what is the one thing you would like us to always remember?
Today, I would like everyone to remember to incorporate, to have self care in your life daily. Use self care daily.
So, if you're watching, use self care daily, incorporate it in your life, whether it's walking, running, listening to music, talking to someone, being alone with nature. Just find a way to self care and it will lead you to self love.
Yeah.
Thank you so, so much, Coach Coleman. And I do hope that people reach out to you and reach out to your programs. And thank you for coming on onto her transformation table.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
You're very welcome. So, thank you once again for those of you who have watched live. We do hope that you keep coming back every Thursday, 2 p.m. EST. Make sure you subscribe on our YouTube if you haven't, so that you can always catch a replay. In case you have questions for Coach Brena, even though it's not live, you can post them in the comments. I do hope that you check out my pages as well. Please check me out, Coach Mary Medley on Facebook, Mind Spirit is Wealth on Instagram. I'm also on LinkedIn. You can type Coach Mary Medley and you'll find me. Thank you and see you next Thursday here on her transformation table, where hopefully we'll have another amazing guest. And remember, your health is your wealth. Your mind, body, and spirit is your wealth.